Good night, everyone. Welcome to AS Testimony Talk Show. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not unto your own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Hi, everyone. Welcome again to AS Testimony Talk Show. And again, I'm your host, Akeem Smith. And it is always a pleasure coming on the AS Testimony Talk Show to do the work of God. And so I must say, welcome to all my first time viewers and to my genuine subscribers, or to or to all the person who join every single week. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate you all. So again, welcome. And tonight I have a wonderful person who will be testifying about the goodness of God. She have been married for so long, but during the process of her marriage, is like she lost all her child. You know what I'm saying? Our children rather. And so she's here to share with us what God has done for her. So don't you move a muscle, stay right there. We will be taking a quick break before we get started. Again, guys, welcome to AS Testimony Talk Show. And my name is Akeem Smith, and I'm your host for tonight's show. So, on my right, I have my tonight's guest, and her name is Kristen, right? That's right. That's Chris and Marie Lawman, and she's looking so wonderful. May I say, listen to me, people. She come out on top tonight because she will be. I believe she's excited to share what God has done for her, and so we are going to get right into it because we will be working with that time, and so we will be getting right into it. So, Sister Lawman, how are you doing tonight?
I'm blessed and highly favored.
Well, absolutely, you are blessed. You're blessed, and again, thank you so much for taking the time out to be on my show tonight. I really appreciate you. So, I want you to tell us who is Anne Marie Lawman. Tell us about yourself.
Okay. Thanks for having me. It is my pleasure to be
Yes,
here tonight.
you're welcome.
And Chris and Marie Lewis, um, I'm a person who jovial, fun, very, very God fearing. I'm just a nice person if you get to know me. Yes.
Absolutely wonderful. And so, during our preview interview, you mentioned that you are from the parish of Manchester.
Oh, yes.
Cool Manchester, or also Mandeville as well. So, I wanted to tell us, your life growing up in Manchester, because I know for sure that all of us have, a child would experience. And so I wanted to share us your experience growing up in Manchester. How was it like living in Manchester and also attending school in Manchester? Tell us about that tonight.
Okay. I was born in the parish of Manchester,
Yes.
Holyville. We call it Tiki Tiki. Yes. And my mother and my father, they both died. May their soul rest in peace. I have 11,
Yes.
11 of us, nine girls and two boys. Growing up in Manchester, it is very fun. We used to go by the river or the spring to catch water. Very fun. Yes, growing up with my sister, but life wasn't easy. It was
Mm.
very hard,
Wow.
very, very hard at time because, my mom, she has us like 2 years apart. Yes, so it was very rough at times, but we still managed to get through with the help of God because my mom was a very God fearing person
Yes.
also. Yes, so going to school, I remember the first time I went to school, grade one, I was seventh, a year late behind, and no money, things were so rough. I remember my mom, she built my uniform, but I didn't have any shoes,
Wow.
no bag.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her, I said, Mom, I want to go to school this morning. And she said, No, because you don't have any shoes and no bag. I said, Yes, I insist. I want to go to school. And I went to school barefoot with my book in my hand.
Wow.
Yes. And I didn't feel no way.
So how was that experience? Was there like, children, your peer laughing after you, seeing you coming to school with no shoes? How was that experience? Was, going into school every morning without having on any shoes?
Well, I went the first morning without, but the weekend, like, I went to Monday, and by the Saturday, I get the shoes. And it was very teasing. Children tease me.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, they tease me a lot. And when they see me, they will say, Oh, she's the one who come to school barefoot, making fun of me. And I will just beat them. Yes, to be honest. You will get in a fight because they keep on teasing me. And so tell, it stopped. It
So,
stopped.
wow. So you basically said that you were like a bad girl back then.
Yes, to be honest. Yes. At the
Bad girl.
yes, at the time, three of us, me and the older sister and one that follow me, we were attending the same school. And whenever my little sister came to me and told me that someone was picking on her, I would just go to them and beat them up.
Wow.
Yes, so they call me the bully.
Bully.
Yes, and even my big sister couldn't manage me.
Mm,
Yes, I would just
mighty
yes.
God. You was like a warrior.
In some, yes.
Okay, so okay, that's I'm really happy to hear that side of your story. But I want to get more into your journey. You know, did you ever felt overlooked after being rejected in such an extended family rather?
Yes.
Because living in such family, sometimes
Oh,
you might have mommy that love maybe your brother more, or something. Once you're living into an extended family rather, there will always be some conflict. So tell us about your experience,
oh,
living
within
in
the
the
family.
within the family. Mhm.
Well, we were pretty close. We have our differences as brothers and sisters, but we were pretty close, I would say. But we were looked down on by neighbors. Neighbors, yes, would make fun of us because we were so poor. Yes, so they would pick on us. You understand? Yes, they would pick on us and make fun of us at times. And because I attend school so bad,
Yes.
so bad. Yes, so even when I graduated from primary, so went on to high school. To be honest, I don't know how I passed my exam to went to Christian Comprehensive High at the time. Yes, because of the bad attendance at school. Yes, for me and my sisters. Um, yes.
Okay, so all right. So I wanted to use the mic, put the mic. Yeah.
Oh,
So basically, you said that it's like your neighbors used to be like the one troubling or picking on you guys, and knowing that you are the one that you're fiery. Basically, you're rank. Jamaican
yes,
people use that term. Being rank, or them say feisty.
yes,
Have you ever react to your neighbor? Because as you said earlier, they always picking on you
yes,
guys.
yes,
So my question is, knowing that is the one that always firing or being feisty,
yes,
being a
yes,
bully in high
yes.
school. Have you ever answer to any of your neighbor, like say, rude to them in any way after, in any way?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, to be honest, sometimes.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes I just look at them and just walk away.
Walk away.
Yes, and I always said, God will provide.
Yeah, absolutely.
Better will come.
Mhm.
Yes, it may be long, but not forever.
Absolutely.
Yes, so sometimes I will react and cuss them out, and sometimes I will just leave them alone. Yes.
Yes, yes. So let me ask you, was it the adults or was it, like children or a different child from a different home picking on you guys? Was it the adults or was it like children?
Well, both.
Both.
Both, but mostly
Wow.
like children. Like
Mm-hmm,
my
mm-hmm.
age, yes. Mostly children like my age at the time. Yes, but you have some adults do it as well.
Wow.
Yes. So, and because of that, my father, she always told us girl that listen, don't talk to no guy in this community.
Mm-hmm.
Go far out and find your husband.
Yes.
And he was a very strict father. Like on Sunday evening time, like we go to work, we will say, all right, go to work, but make sure you be back by 5 or 6 o'clock. You should be inside. You're not
Yes.
allowed to go to dance or party. You understand? I remember I went to Grand Market at the age of 15 years old.
Tell us about that.
Yes. At the age of 15 years old, me and my sister and my smaller sister that followed me, she died, may her soul rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to Grand Market. My dad didn't give us the okay, but my mom, she gave us
She
the
gave the
yes.
okay.
And we went and when we came in back and we, sneaking from my father, sneaking into bed. And I heard my father say to me, Chris. And I said, yes, daddy. And he said, deal with your man, here. And it's like I couldn't sleep because surely that is going to beat, because we disobey him. Yes. And when I woke up in the morning, he already left for work. Yes.
Must have said thank you, Jesus.
Amen.
All right, so earlier you mentioned about your husband, like your parents told you, hey, you must not date anyone in the same community that you're from. You must go out and look your husband. And I really believe in that. So you came to, or you should say you went to Old Harbor, and you were looking for employment, right? But it's like I believe God planned it where instead of you receiving an employment, you got your husband, you found your husband in Holaba, in Old Harbor rather. To tell us about that experience. You live in Manchester, coming to a parish that you don't know about. To tell us about that experience, meeting your husband, and know how you venture into getting married to that same gentleman.
Okay. Leaving Manchester to Old Harbor, I had a cousin named Jasmine that lived in Old Harbor for a long time. We were close back then in the country. So she always promised that she will come back for me. And she did at the age of 16.
Oh.
When things was rough and yeah.
Yes, yes.
And she came back and I started to stay with her two children. Yes, I started to stay with her two children, and then things get out of hand. Didn't go the way that I wanted to go, and my husband, you live in the same yard, even though it was a tenement yard.
Oh.
Yes, and he was picking on me and so forth because I am a good cook. So he always leave his basin and said, leave dinner for me and stuff and then we wash like a shirt.
Yes.
And I would do it and so forth. And then, one night I went into his room. Yes, without my cousin.
Oh, it makes you bomb
knowledge.
later.
Yes. I went in there and
Yes.
from that moment when my cousin came home, she was looking for me and I didn't came out because I was afraid.
Yes.
So from there, we started. But when my mom found out about it, because I was so young, 16, she came to Old Harbor to
Okay.
take me back to Manchester.
Wonderful. All right, guys, don't you move up. Must stay right there. Again, I'm your host, Akeem Smith. We soon come back. Again, guys, welcome to AS Testimony Talk Show. I'm your host. And if you're just joining, welcome, welcome, welcome. And before we continue, please remember to invite a friend, invite a family member so that they can come over the AS Testimony Talk Show and join tonight's broadcast. All right. So my guest is here, shared with us her story, her journey, where she lost all her child, and so I'm excited that she's here on the AS Testimony Talk Show to testify about the goodness of God. So you, before we went on break, you mentioned that you left Manchester. You're now in Old Harbor,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And the part you said that you went into his room to pick up from there when you went into your prospective husband room.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yes. So I went in there, and when my cousin came home, she was looking for me, and I didn't came out of the room. I stayed overnight, and then she informed my mother what is going on, and then she came to Old Harbor to take me back to Manchester. Yes, but my husband, he decided that no, she's not leaving. She loves me, and um, my mother and my husband and my husband auntie. Yeah, they sit down and they have a long discussion, a long talk about it. And my mother said, "All right, this is not what I really want for you, but because my husband decided for me to stay because if I leave, then he will make war with my cousin. Yes, so he didn't want that. She didn't want us to say, all right, stay. Yes, and I lived with him, and at the age of 18, I got pregnant. Yes, at the age of 18, and 7 months I've been into the hospital, in and out of hospital. Yes, and um, I ended up lost that child at 7 months.
How old were you at that time? 18?
18. I was 18.
Wow.
Yes, I lost that child. They told me my sister, she's died. She died. She told me that I went in with seizure. Yes, that I was behaving very badly and kicking up and so forth. Yes, I went in with seizure, and when I when I woke up, I didn't know what happened. I didn't know where I'm at, what's going on, nothing. And my husband and my sister, they informed me and telling me what took place with me. And I eventually lost that child. My husband told me that when he came to visit me in the hospital, my foot were tied on the bed, my two hands were tied on the bed. And he said, when he came in, he said, no, man, this is not Chris. I am a private person. Yes, he didn't like what he sees. So he walked with his ratchet. So he said he cut the string and dressed me. I was naked. Yes, he said he dressed me. And the doctor came in and said, why are you doing that? And he started to cry and said, no, I'm not that type of person. Yes. So he dressed me, and when I woke up and come to, the doctors telling me what happened and told me that my baby has died.
Wow. So after you woke up and you received such a disturbing news, what went through your mind at that moment?
Oh my God. I feel like I feel like I'm here, but I'm not here.
Wow.
I feel is the worst thing. The worst thing because and it was in December, the 19th of December. And I was looking forward to that trial. So when I came to that realization that my child died, I want to die as well. I was heartbroken, very heartbroken. My first child, yes, she would have been 25. Yes, she would have been 25.
Wow, that is such a sad news. So I know for sure that you never stopped.
No.
You guys kept on
Oh
trying
yes,
and trying and
yes,
trying.
yes,
But while trying is like, the child kept on, dying, or
yes,
you kept on losing the child.
yes.
So tell us about those experiences. How did you tolerate, or how did you manage, knowing that each time that you went ahead and you try to get a child is like, you lost a child.
Yes.
Tell us about the experience, losing the
Oh
first
my
child. So,
God.
so basically, you just told us about losing the first child
Yes,
at
that
18.
yes.
So, at what age did you get pregnant again? Was it about age 20 or age 19?
20.
20. Tell us
20.
about that experience
Yes.
and the others.
Okay. Um, I got pregnant again with the second child at age 20, and going on very good, everything. And visit the doctor, good checkup and everything because my blood pressure was high. So I have to be Spanish Town Hospital, special care and so forth. And that child, okay, I was at home one night sleeping and I heard a voice, full 9 months. And I heard a voice wake me up and said I must go to the hospital. And I woke up and I looked around and I didn't see anyone. My sister was sleeping, my husband was sleeping. And I went back to sleep and I heard a voice called me and he said, Chris, get up and go to the hospital. And I get up and I said, who's calling me? Telling me to go to the hospital. I'm not in any pain or anything. And I went back to sleep. And when the voice called me the third time, I could not go back to sleep. I woke up my husband, my sister, and a friend, and I told them that I was in pain. You understand? And I need to go to the hospital. When we reached the hospital, the nurses they checked my pressure and everything. They took my pressure and everything. And when the doctor came in now to examine me, There, the doctor repeatedly asked me when last I felt the baby move.
Yes.
But to my knowledge, I felt the baby move. Didn't know what was going on.
Yes.
And the doctor called a next doctor and they were there like, something is wrong. So I started to pick up that something is wrong.
Ah,
And
yes.
then the doctor told me that they do an ultrasound thing,
Mm-hmm.
and they told me that not ultrasound, when they put the thing on your
Yeah,
belly
you
to
can
check
saw
the
if the
baby
baby is
move.
moving.
Yes, and the doctor told me that the baby died. The
Mm.
baby died from 3 days.
3 days.
3 days.
Oh my
Full
God.
9 month baby. I should give birth the 25th of December. And the doctor told me your baby died 3 days
Yes,
inside
absolutely.
of me, and I'm still moving around. I did not have a clue. So it was that voice of God. I did not baptize them.
Then yes.
No, I did not. But I'm a God fearing person. I always been a God fearing person because my mom brought us up that way.
Yes.
Yes. So um, when the doctor told me that the child died at 3, I don't know nothing. Nothing. My pressure high, look,
Wow.
must I lose my sight?
Mm.
I lose my sight. Um, and I remember I couldn't see, but I could hear voices. My family, they came, my sister, they came to visit me. They were in tears. And of Christmas, and of Christmas, and of Christmas. I can hear, but I couldn't see. And the drip was on. Lord, Lord was in one hand, drip
Yes.
in one hand. Um, thing over my nose.
Yeah, yeah. The thing there.
Yes, and I have urine bag.
Wow.
Yes, I couldn't move. And I lying there and I keep on hearing nurse, like I didn't know the day, not the night. And I keep on hearing nurse saying, oh my God, Miss Hewitt is still here. She's still here. And they were going out and some were praying, and I was there. I didn't know the night from the day. But I remember I glimpsed, and when I glimpsed, I see doctors. I call them doctors at the time. They were all in white, and they surround my bed. They surround my bed, and they were praying, and I went back to sleep. I don't know nothing more. I don't know when they came in, and I don't know when they leave. And when I open my eyes, I don't see them, and I feel the fire. I will not tell you, I feel a fire from the crown of my head to the sole of my feet. And that baby came out just like that.
Just like that.
Yes. So that the child inside of me 3 days, 3 days plus a week before it came out.
Okay,
Yes.
guys, again, Miss Lawman is here, or Mrs. Lawman is here, telling us about her story. How she's married, but all her child, she lost them, and so don't you move a muscle. Again, please remember, if you are a first time watcher, subscribe to the AS Testimony Talk Show, so whenever we go live, you can be notified. Don't you move a muscle. We'll soon come. Hi guys, welcome to AS Testimony Talk Show. Hello, everyone. Welcome to AS Testimony Talk Show. So I'm here talking to Miss Lawman, and she's here telling her story, how she lost her child. And so you said, you glimpsed and you saw doctors around you. Tell us about the story. What happened then? After you realized that your eyes were open, you were able to see the doctors. Tell us about that.
Yes. Well, I did not see them
Clearly,
that clearly,
bright.
but the same glimpse.
Mhm.
Yes. And after they leave, I didn't know when they leave, but they leave, and the baby just came out just like that. And I was in the hospital for weeks before I go home. And at that time, I really, really want to die. I wish I did. I wish I did it.
He did.
Did it.
Jamaica term. Jamaican
Yes.
term. He
Did
did.
it.
My God.
Yes. I didn't want to live anymore. And when they took me from the maternity ward, they bring me to a next ward. Um, and I remember I still have this thing in my hand, and I drew it out, and I said I want to die. And I laid down and I drew it out because all the babies around me, they were crying, and I was so sad. I feel like I am nothing. I feel, a feelings. It is unbearable to know that I lose one and I end up lose another one. My Christmas present, it was so sad. And when my husband, when he came, they called him. They did not told him that the baby died. They told him that I have a boy baby and he must came. Yes. So they did not told him that the baby died. So he excited now when he came, and when he came, he see that the baby died and he fainted, he dropped, he blacked right out.
Wow.
Yes. Yes, because they leave the baby on the bed for him to see. Yes.
Okay. All right. So I know the time is against us, but when you realized that you were unable to see, what was going through your head at that time?
Okay. Can I just go a little bit back? After I lose the first one,
Mhm.
I became sick. I became so sick after I lose the first one. At that time, I'm 19 years old. I have to leave Old Harbor and go back to country.
Mhm.
Yes, because of the sickness. I remember me and my sister, we go to the doctor and we go through the front door. The doctor will let us out to the back, and they will say something is not right. They said I have cancer. And I see a bat. Before I took sick, I see a bat came in, and I didn't take it for anything at that time. I see a bat. And after that, I've sick, and I went to country. I mean, one of my big brother, he was living in Old Harbor, he take me to my mom. And when I love to eat, and they cook my favorite bungo rice and peas and pork, and they said, here is food, because they know I love to eat. And I couldn't touch it. I couldn't touch it. And immediately my dad know that something is wrong with me. So my dad and my mom now they were talking that this is not Chris. You
Yes, yes.
understand? So I was there and I became blind, officially blind,
Blind.
handicapped.
Wow.
I turned into a handicap and I have to start all over again
Like from baby stage.
from baby stage at the age of 19.
19.
Yes, with the help of my mother and my husband and my sisters. Yes,
Wow.
yes. And
Wow.
when I get well, I came back to Old Harbor. Yes, and so when I lose the second one now,
Yes.
my husband he fainted. When he
Mm-hmm.
came, he fainted. Doctors have to help him and revive him.
Yes.
Yes, it's a big shock to him to see that beautiful, as what he told me, because I couldn't see clearly at the time. Yes, so he told me that he was beautiful and, have the looks of me and he
Wow.
couldn't believe, And so when my sister came for me to go home, I didn't want to go home. I just wish I could just die. But eventually, God has planned for me. God have
Yes.
purpose for me in my life. Um, and so I became pregnant again. Yes, I became pregnant again with the third. Yes, and I lose that one 4 months.
Oh wow.
Yes, 4 months, and that one no, I really wanted.
Mhm.
I wish I, and when I lose the third one, I was in church.
Mhm. So at that
Yes,
time you got
I
saved.
got saved, and I was in church.
So basically, accepting God as your Lord and Savior. So it's like you were expecting to get this child
Yes,
because you said, God, I'm now serving you. So
yes,
it's like, hey, I need this baby.
yes,
Wow,
yes.
but sadly it didn't
Yes,
happen.
it didn't happen. It didn't happen. I remember me and my sister went to town because I was to go to the clinic, at Spanish Town, the high risk clinic. So we went up there to buy dress, mother's dress to wear. And when I came back, I realized that something is wrong. A
Yes.
cord co- came down. A cord came down, and I was back before I reached there. I asked for prayer. Some people pray, but some didn't. I remember I was sick. I was so sick and I asked for prayer and they were there contemplating. She's telling lie and I was there lying down sick, couldn't see.
Mhm.
Couldn't see.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
they were there I was telling lie and they want to come to give me prayer when they feel like. I'm telling you about church
Wow.
people, my sisters and brother, mostly sisters at the time. Yes. So they are. I'm not blaming them, but as a church, they could have done better
Yes.
because prayer is the main key.
Wow.
And when the church pray,
Yes.
things happen.
Absolutely.
And eventually, I lose that child, and
That was the fourth child
the
now.
fourth child.
And then again, you guys tried again
Yes.
for the fifth time.
Yes.
And you
Four.
guys,
No, that was the second child. Four. So the fourth child now.
mhm,
We go back again for the
mhm,
fourth child.
and you guys lost it.
Yes, I lost that one.
And did,
And
did you guys go the fifth time now? Did you guys win the fifth time?
all right. Um, he he cheated.
Yes.
Yes, he cheated and he got a son. And how I know about that son, I dreamed. I
Mm,
dreamed about it.
yes.
And I woke up the morning and I asked him about it and he said no. And I dreamed that I was at my home and I see this lady just come up at my gate and ask for me personal. She has a brown pretty baby and a bag and she asked for me. And I went out there and she just pushed the baby in my hand with the bag and said, "This is your child, it is not
Wow.
mine." And she walked away. And when I woke up the morning, I asked my husband about it. And he, when I asked him about it, he looked at me like shocked.
Mhm.
He's shocked.
Wow.
And he said, "No, sir, I don't know what you're talking about." And he walked away. Didn't want to hear
To
anymore.
hear.
And so I said, "This is true." Because I know him well. And I said, "This is true. You do have a child out there." But to be honest, I didn't feel upset. I didn't feel no way. I
Bec-
just
because you know
because I know God
that every
showed
time you
me.
guys try to produce a child is like always
Yes,
losing it.
yes,
So it's like it didn't really bother you to that extent because you know maybe if you guys try again you're gonna lose the baby. So it's like it come like nothing.
yes. And you
Wow.
know, when I found out about my stepson, I already lost two. And after I take him, when I found out about him, I take him at the age of one,
Mm-hmm.
and I lose two, so I lose the fourth, the third and the fourth.
Fourth, yes.
After I took him,
Mm-hmm.
yes. So when I took him, I got pregnant with the third, and I got pregnant again with the fourth.
Okay.
Yes, you understand?
Okay, so let's
Yes,
let's make clarify. So basically, when you got your or took your stepson,
yes.
you guys tried 4 times,
No, I two times.
2 times,
Yes,
okay?
I lost two.
Mm-hmm.
And when I took him,
Mm-hmm.
I got pregnant two more times and I lost them as well.
Okay, okay,
Yes, yes,
understand. Okay, great,
yes,
great, understand. Wow.
yes.
And then you said you lost your stepson last year,
Yes,
this year
yes,
rather.
yes. I bore him
My
like my
condolence to you and the
own.
family.
I took him to doctor, clinic, you name it, to a motherly job. He loves me well without
Mm-hmm.
end. He adores me. I adored him. Even when I lost the third one and I came home and I was in my room crying, he run into me and he said, "Mommy, why are you crying?" And I said to him and he hugged me and he embraced me and I said, "You don't understand." And he said, "Yes, Mommy, I understand." He said, "Yes, Mommy, I understand." And I said, "What do you understand?" And he said, "Because you didn't bring home." He said, "You didn't bring home the baby and you hurt." But he said, "Mom, I am here. I am here for you. I am here." And he braced me. He braced me. And I bore him up well. And they took him away the
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
14th
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just I'm just holding your hand. Just couple.
they took him away the 14th of April.
Mm-hmm.
I,
Wow.
I came in from work. I can't forget. And he said, "Mom," he asked me for some money as usual. I gave him $150. And he looked at me and he said, "Mom, you love me?"
Oh God.
And I said, "Yes." "What do you mean, I love you?" I said, "I love you, my one boy. I
Yes,
love you
yes,
all
yes,
those."
yes.
And he said, "Mom, let me show you how much I love you."
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And he kissed me and he hugged me. And he went out to the hall where his father was sitting. And he asked him for some money as well. And he gave him $50. And he went through the door. Didn't know that
He
that
was
was my
coming home.
last. I'm going to see him. And a couple of minutes, it was the early time, like after 7, we hear a shot.
Mm.
He just went across the road where he and his friend normally hang out,
Yes,
not far,
yes, yes.
just across from our home.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and we hear a shot. We hear a shot. And when my husband sit there, we see him one come. And he said with his hand like this, and he said, "Mommy, Daddy." He looked into our eyes and he said, "Mommy, Daddy, they shot me." I didn't believe him at first because he loved to run joke. And he lie in front of us on the ground. And I said, "Where they shot you?" And he said, "In my shoulder." And I remove his hand. And when I looked, I see the shots. It wasn't bleeding at that time. And when I move his hand, I see the hole and I panic. I panic. And I'm not a person who easily to panic.
Yes,
But
yes.
at that time when I saw it, I panicked. I did not know myself. I found myself get up and I said, "Lord God, and shot him for true." And I said to my husband, "Take him up." I said, "Take him up." And I went inside to join my skirt because I was
Yes.
in tight.
Mm-hmm.
And I joined the skirt and I was in the room spinning and looking out. And when my husband take him up, it was like, like blood started to come through his nose, his mouth. And and so forth. And I rushed to the door to get a car. And when I came back, they already left.
Wow.
Yes, it was
And so when
very.
he went to the hospital, they pronounced
He,
him.
no,
He
yeah,
died on the spot. Well, they pronounced him,
dead
you
at
know,
the hospital, but he died in his father's arms.
arms. Wow.
Yes, he died in his father's arms. And he told him, he told me that he said to him, because I run through to get a drive, he said, Daddy, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. And he said to him, no, you're
Mm.
not going to die. But he did baptize. He did baptize. And the evening, my husband told me that when he came in from work, he didn't went out of the house, out of the yard the day. It was a
Mhm.
Wednesday, he didn't
He
went
went
out.
out.
He cleaned his room, he turned up his room, and he was there reading his Bible.
Wow.
Yes, and my husband said it shocked him
Mhm.
to see him lie down there for hours just reading his Bible.
Wow.
And he said every minute he must go and prep him. Just prep on the bed and said, I never see him do this like before. You understand? So he
Stay
was
right here.
shocked.
Stay right here. Guys, don't you move a muscle. Mrs. Lawman is here sharing her story. She lost her stepson this year in April, and so that she's here actually here telling the experience. We will be taking a quick break at this moment. Welcome back to AS Testimony Talk Show, everyone. Again, I'm your host, Akeem Smith, and Mrs. Lawman is here telling us her story. Her story is so sad, but at the end of the day, the Bible so must give thanks in everything. And so I'm happy that you're here to hear this wonderful, this powerful story from Miss Lawman. So you said that before we went on break, that she was in his room, reading his Bible and everything. Tell us more about that.
Yes, he was there, as my husband told me, because I was at work and he came in before me. And he said he's just reading his Bible, lay on his bed, just reading, reading, reading. So it surprised him. It surprised him. And I was saying because he did baptize, go to church, but after my pastors died, church kind of collapsed. Yes, church kind of collapsed. And he stopped, my husband stopped, but I still pressed on for a while. I still pressed on for a while. And it's hard. People make fun of me at times.
Mhm. Yes.
Yes, they said stuff about me. I'm wicked.
Wow.
I should try a next man.
Oh wow.
All of those things,
Mhm.
some hurtful
So
things.
they mocked or
Yes,
they
man. Oh
stigmatized.
yes, and I feel like I failed. I feel like
Mm. Wow. It's okay.
at times I remember I was after the passing of my son. I was there and I feel so down. I feel like I'm the reason, to give birth to so
So
many
many.
and none and have my son, my stepson, and he died. And I feel helpless. I feel like I don't want to live. And I remember a call, missionary Michael, and I was saying, I feel like dead. I don't think. I want to live anymore. And I started to blame myself, and I said,
Mhm.
what if it is my fault? What have I done?
Yes, yes.
I started to search in myself, and I said, God, I'm serving you. And so many people over the years, so many people have approached me on the street everywhere I go. Everywhere I go,
Mhm.
people came up to me and said, Woman of God, God have purpose for your life.
Yes.
They call me minister. They call me all those
So many
names, you
names, yes.
understand, in Christ.
Mhm.
And when my son died, I said, God, he kissed me. My son kissed me, hugged me, and it never showed me that this would be the
The
last.
last.
Yes,
So let me say, Mom, looking in your situation, because time is against us, do you consider yourself being, or I should say, as being a Sarah? Because Sarah in the Bible, she got married to her husband and was unable to produce a child. Do you consider yourself being a Sarah?
yes, yes. And after losing so many child, and I've
Yes.
been to church, most of the time the same scripture will be reading
Mm-hmm.
over at no preaching, preach.
Yes.
Most the scripture they preaching like of convention or anything, or the pastor would come and preach, they would draw for the scripture, and I would say, My God, this one is for me. And sometimes they pick me out.
Yes.
They pick me
Mm.
out. They pick me out and said, and they said, there's purpose for you.
Purpose.
God have purpose for you.
Absolutely.
Yes, and because of God's grace and His purpose, I am here.
Ah.
Because the person of my son, I feel at time, I just want to um, give up.
Mm-hmm.
But then God sent Bishop.
Ah,
Yes,
he
God
sent
sent
Bishop
Bishop. Yes,
to rescue you.
yes, to rescue me.
Mm.
And because I was at my edge, and I remember when I get to meet Bishop, it was at Old Harbor.
Yes, yes.
Yes, and he picked me out as well. Yes, and he said some stuff to me. And I said, God, this must be you.
Absolutely.
Yes, and the bishop was there to help me through it. This man I didn't know. I
Yes,
didn't
yes.
know him. But God,
But God.
but God sent a
But
man
yes, yeah,
for
go ahead.
that
For that
purpose
purpose,
at
absolutely.
that time.
Yes. So, guys, there will be part two of this wonderful show. So, Miss Lawman, she is here telling her story, and I know that time is against us, but I want you to stay tuned for part two. This tonight show will be ending right now, so I want you to stay tuned. During the week, we will be posting part two video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm your host, Akeem Simit, and it was nice having you all tonight.